Welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and I make videos about photography, corgis, and other stuff. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different and I'm going to talk about how to start an acting career outside of LA. So if you're in a smaller market and you want to start an acting career but you're not sure where to begin, that's what we're going to talk about. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get some training. So check out your area where you live and so see what's near you. Start taking a look at what's near you, do a little Googling, see who teaches in your city or in a nearby city, maybe a next city over, but it's still a reasonable driving distance. If there's nothing nearby, the other thing I can recommend is a lot of coaches will do online training. I worked with a coach for a year and a half who lived in a different state from me, and that was during the pandemic. There wasn't a lot of classes that were in person, so I was able to work with coaches who wouldn't have been available to me otherwise if she wasn't doing work online. And those were weekly Zoom sessions with, I think, usually 10 other people in the classes. So if there's nothing local, looking online for acting coaches is an option. So in addition to classes, take a look at workshops that are going to be held, maybe webinars, but I would actually recommend starting with a class and going weekly if possible. Some classes are held year round and some are done in 4 to 8 or 10 week sessions. So find something that works for you. There's probably going to be a beginner level course or an entry level course held nearby or online. So I would check out, some kind of entry level course nearby. Make sure it's really what you want. Give it a try before you invest too much money in other things. But so the first thing you're gonna do is get some training. Second thing, now that you've got some training and you've gotten a taste of acting and you know it's what you want to keep going, the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna start getting your materials together. So your materials is typically your headshot and your resume. It can also include your reel or a website, but you don't necessarily need a reel and a website when you're first starting out and you either have no credits or very few credits to your name. I would recommend getting a headshot, looking for headshot photographers and taking a look at their website, their work, and see if it's what you like. Get some, if you have an agent, ask your agent for advice if they can recommend a photographer. If you don't have an agent, that's fine, but you need a headshot to get started. That's the first thing any casting director or anybody in production who's considering giving you a role, they're gonna wanna see your headshot. So look up headshot requirements. There's a lot of guidelines out there. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but what size should the headshot be? What's the ratio? What gets to take? Talk to the photographer about, what you're looking for. Take a look at their work, get an idea for what kind of photos they do. The other thing you can do is just Google headshots. There's a lot of good options or a lot of good examples on Pinterest. So I'd recommend looking up headshots on Pinterest. If there's a particular actor or actress who you think you believe that you are similar to their type, or you think you're interested in roles that they play, I would actually recommend seeing if you can Google their headshot specifically. And that gives you an idea of what you might be looking for. So research what you want, but you're gonna need a headshot. The next thing you're gonna do is you're going to start putting together your resume. And there are templates available online, but a resume is basically just going to list out all of your credits. And then at the bottom, you're gonna have like a special skills section where you could list, juggling or bike riding or something like that. Have fun with it, be honest. And at the top of your resume is gonna have your name. If you have an agent, it's gonna list your agent, but there will also be like a couple of your stats, like your height, eye color, hair color, things like that. And then below that, there's usually a section for film and television. And then there's going to be a theater roles. Below that, there's going to be a training section usually, but I'm not going to get too much into the format of the resume in this video. I would look up templates online, Backstage, the website, it's a publication, and also a platform for finding work for actors where you can sign up to find work. They have information and I think they have examples of what a acting resume could look like. So so you're going to have your headshot and your resume. And after that, once you have a couple of roles, you're gonna put together your reel. And again, a reel is about 2 to 3 minutes, and it's an example of your best work, your most recent best work typically. It's like a trailer of who you are as an actor, like what you can do, like what you offer. So I would recommend also looking at a reel and There's tons of examples up on YouTube and around the internet, so that's pretty easy to find, I think. You can check out IMDb. So those are gonna be 3 main materials. And after that, then I would think about, maybe getting a website, you can use your Instagram as well, but your specific materials are headshot, resume, and a reel, and maybe a website. But your headshot and your resume are gonna be most important. So while you've started your training and you're getting materials together, you're going to start networking. So there's a lot of opportunities for networking. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. We have a pretty decent industry here. There's quite a few networking opportunities. If you're in a smaller market, I would check out Facebook. So there may be Facebook groups specifically focusing on actors and film, television production in your area. It's a good place to network. Meetup may have some options. I would also recommend, use your acting class. That's a great place to start networking. Your classmates are going to be their colleagues. Make some projects together. You learn about other projects through them. Another great thing about going to training, it's in addition to, practicing acting and getting better, it's a great place to learn about the industry as well. Most acting classes will take time sometime during class to discuss the industry. They may focus on, the industry in your area, the industry as a whole. You can ask questions. So that's a great place to, start networking and get information. So your acting class is a great network opportunity, Facebook groups, meetups if they're there, watch for workshops that may pop up, and any other networking event in your area maybe. So one thing I do want to say, if you do go to any networking event or a workshop that you have to pay for, just be aware that there are a lot of scams out there. Things you should never have to pay for are, you shouldn't have to pay to get an agent. Your agent gets paid when you get paid. So if they want you to pay them to sign you, that's a big red flag. So just be cautious when someone wants you to pay them for a service. I mean, workshops, those are usually paid. I don't think I've ever been to one that wasn't paid. But look at who's running it, right? Are they bringing in a speaker who, just research them. And then, training, you're gonna pay for acting classes, of course. But so just be cautious. There are a lot of scams out there. I would just be very careful. Okay, so now that you've got some training, you've got some awesome materials, and you started networking, it's time to start putting yourself out there. So start submitting yourself to roles. You can do this a variety of options. There's Backstage Casting is a publication and a platform where people, producers, filmmakers, list projects, and you can submit your materials to them, basically. You can submit your materials to them, and then, they may ask you to audition, they may not. I've gotten jobs just off my submission, just off my materials. So they saw my reel and my headshot and my resume, and I got the job. I didn't have to audition. And then sometimes they will ask you to submit an audition. A lot of stuff on Backstage, I've noticed they ask for a pre-audition. I have done a few of those. And basically it feels like an audition to me. But anyway, so Backstage is one option. Checking out Facebook groups. Like I said, there's some great Facebook. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so we have several Facebook groups for us. And a lot of people will post jobs on there. You can collaborate with people. There's a lot of opportunity on Facebook. And that's actually where I've gotten the majority of my acting jobs. So start submitting yourself, start going on auditions. Most auditions these days are, in my experience, they've all been self-tape. So in the last couple of years, I've only had 2 in-person auditions. Everything else has been self-tape. I record at home, against a blank wall, similar to this. Well, not quite like this, but I'm doing it myself. And then I usually submit it through the website, whatever. There's usually an upload platform that I have submitted to. So if you're gonna start auditioning, you can use your cell phone. Cell phones have great cameras. You're gonna want a tripod and basically some kind of blank wall. You don't really want it to be stark white or really black. Something neutral, like a beige or just an off-white is fine. And so you're gonna learn how to record yourself, learn how to audition, and so just start submitting yourself. Get yourself out there. That's my best advice. If you're just starting out and you're looking to get, your first couple of roles, I would recommend looking for student films. So if you live in a college city or near a college that has any kind of theater program, Typically a couple times of the year, there will be students who are making student films. And so they'll post casting calls on, various sites, whether it's Facebook or Backstage, or, just get on mailing lists too. I'm on a couple of different mailing lists that I get from like the local colleges. So yeah, so student films, they're typically unpaid, but it's a bunch of people. It's still, people coming together to create art. It's still their fun experiences. It's experience. And that's what's most important, is getting experience if you're just starting out. So even though student film is typically going to be unpaid, usually you should, at the bare minimum, you should always get the footage of yourself to use for your reel. So that's typically, yeah, so bare minimum, you should always be getting the footage. But on an unpaid student film shoot, usually you're also going to get lunch out of it. So it's experience. Yeah, so I've done a couple of student films and I would recommend doing them. It's just really great experience, and you're working with other people who are also learning along with you. Yeah, I recommend student films. I think they're fun. But other things, but again, when you're submitting to any project, do your due diligence and, just watch out for yourself, because again, there's scams out there. So just always use caution. But I've never really had too many issues. If something just feels iffy, trust your gut. Always trust your gut. Also, reading a couple of books, and that's another great source for, getting training and information. A book that I read was Self-Management for Actors. I would recommend that book. Acting as a Business. You can read acting books, by, acting coaches. There's, Sanford Meisner. There's a Strasberg. Pick up books if something appeals to you. Read about it. Read about the different, schools of thought around acting. Read biographies of actors. Read, Michael Caine has a pretty good acting book that I've enjoyed. Yeah, there's a lot of book resources that you can look into. Now that you've got training, you're getting a couple of roles, you've got your materials together, you're putting yourself out there and you're networking, just keep learning. That's the best thing. Don't get casual about it. Just stay focused, stay committed. You will have setbacks, you will have so much rejection, but what's important is that you keep learning. Don't compare yourself to other people in your class. Yeah, just don't compare yourself. The goal with acting, it is a lifelong learning. You will always be learning, always be improving. Just keep at it and make that the goal. Make it the goal to just be better than you, to know more than you did yesterday, or to, be more comfortable with playing characters outside of your comfort zone, to just always be stretching yourself. That's also some of the best advice I can give, is to just focus on the learning and being the best actor that you can be. So that is how you start an acting career outside of LA. If you found this content helpful and you'd like to hear more, please leave a comment below about any other topics related to acting that you would like me to talk about. And I hope to see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe. Bye.